Come on, buddy. Oh, I think we got people here. Oh, I see. We got people in chat. My eyes are so blurry. I'm clean my glasses. That's a little better. Oh, Brother Connor. We got JK and Sister Nancy and Sharon. Francesca. Good deal. And Brother Jeff. Making sure I have not missed nobody. Good deal. Good deal. It's good to see you guys. Guys and gals. Can y'all hear me all right? Right at the last minute, I seen where Jeff said the microphone wasn't all that great. Oh, there's Richard and Roxanne. And Sister Ruth and Jody. Good deal. It's good to see everyone. Am I coming in loud and clear for you all? Thank you, Francesca. And there's Fletch and still Crazy Chris. So good to see you. These glasses are so dirty. I can see out part of this side. Good deal. Thank you, Roxana. Thank you, Nancy. And Jody, JK, and Miss Jean. So good to see everyone. Let me get these, try to get these glasses a little cleaner. Oh, thank you, Ruth. Thank you so much. I was trying to find the other articles. I had some articles. I thought I'd saved them. On the iPhone, it saves a little differently if you're going to read them later. And I thought I was saving them right. And I did not. And I was trying to find those articles, and I haven't found them yet. But I have the other ones that I had saved. Oh, there's Brother Mike. Heck yeah. Bama Bigfoot. It's good to see everyone. God bless you. Thank you for jumping over and joining us. I'm a little bit early. I think I was a couple minutes early getting on. I got one of the goats, rain goat, keeps trying to come over here with me, and he keeps knocking everything down. Oh, hey, Susan. And there's Mitch. Good deal. Good deal. So awesome to see you all. Absolutely good. Me trying to get Rango hit the kennel right next to where I'm at and knocked everything over right as I was in the process of signing on. And I wasn't quite ready to hit the live button, but I tried to catch the tablet so it wouldn't fall over, and I engaged the live button anyway, but no big deal. Only a couple minutes early. Good deal. So good to see everybody. Let me get this straight. I think that's it. Am I looking all right? These glasses are still very blurry. I'm trying to find the clear spot. I had some tissue with me. These paper towels ain't cutting it. Oh well. Y'all can hear the footsteps. That's Rango. He's trying to come up from behind. And I built a bunch of feed buckets up so he can't get to me. Hey, Louie, you stay right there, buddy. You stay right there. Okay. Louie gets over here. He'll definitely knock everything over. Let's see. Well, that's too bright. Oh, there we go. I can see me now. All right. All right. All right. Thank you, Roxana. She said, we can see and hear you perfectly. Good deal. Got to use some spit dye. Yeah, absolutely. But I don't have a t-shirt. I got my shirt. It's got goat hair all over it. I was playing with the goats a little while ago. Oh, there's Ida. Good deal. Good to see you. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, Gene. Thank you. I don't know what's on them. I keep them really clean normally. Oh, that worked. Thank you, Gene. That definitely worked. I thought I was going to have to go get some tissue. Good deal. Tom Paul Cajun. Welcome, brother. Good to see everybody. Absolutely. That is a wonderful start to an awesome night. We have no rain here at all today. I can't believe what's inside my, I think that's what I feel inside my, my case, my glass case. It feels like the lens cloth. There's a bunch of hay. I don't know how hay got in it. Oh, there's a whole bunch of hay. There's some leaves. That's peanut hay. Look at all the hay falling out. I don't know if you can see all this mess coming out of my glasses. This is the case, but I think there's a cleaning cloth in there. I feel something. I've got one spot right there. But all the rest of it cleaned up real good. So crazy, Chris. Lick mine and wash them off or wash them down. My tongue has been on a meatball sandwich earlier. I don't think that'd be really good trying to look through with chunks of hamburger meat and cheese on my glasses. Oh, I got it. Good deal. Got it. Prudently at home. Welcome. It's good to see you. Absolutely. Good deal. Yeah, I found a few articles when I was looking. I found one on one of the werewolf sightings or the dog man, and it was really interesting. And I want to share those different articles with you. Some of them are really old. Some of them are from the 70s, and some of them are pretty recent. We'll get a few of them out there. Some of it's long. It's a bunch of he said, she said, and it carries on. And I tried to see if I could shorten it out, kind of break it down and make it shorter. But it's the way they got it written. It's really hard to do that without rewriting it. And I don't have time for that. I know, that's what I just said. That was Miracle. Somebody opened the gate up front and they heard it. So everybody's vacating me. Good deal. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Yeah, brother Jeff told me that the microphone didn't sound real good on the I guess the show last night. I used a different microphone, and on my end, when I sign in before I actually go live, I have to test my microphone and camera, and I was getting full signal on the microphone on my end. It showed a better signal than what the factory internal microphone has. But brother Jeff said that it just wasn't coming in real clear, and right at the last minute, I unplugged it and carried it inside. Chris Sheehan, sorry if I mispronounced that. It's good to see you. Very good to see you. It's a blessing to see all of you guys and gals here. It's always just fantastic. Bama Bigfoot still fighting. I think it said sinus infection. But other than that, I'm blessed. Yes, hallelujah. I live with a sinus infection, it seems. Yeah, still crazy Chris. I don't like the DMs, the dog man, I believe. Just the sound of their name makes me want to use the bathroom. Yeah, amen. I'm right there with you. I got another goat coming up. Oh, it's Louie. Louie will be all right. You may see a kennel come into view in a minute. He's on the other side of this. I'm using a kennel as a wall to keep him away from the tablet, but behind the tablet, about 3 foot, is Rango. And that's the one. He's like having a 2-year-old around, and I have to keep an eye on him because he will actually pick the tablet up and walk off with it. Yeah, Jody, you definitely hear the ducks. We got them a little pool right here, about 10 foot from me, and they're both playing in the water right now. What's weird is they'll go to sleep in the water, and I'll get up at 11 or 12 o'clock, and they'll still be in the water asleep. And sometime between midnight and 2, they get out of the water. I check on I'm up all hours of the night, and I just poke my head out and check on everybody. And the ducks are always there till sometime just after midnight. And I don't know how they float that long. Where are we at? Oh, Meredith, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. God bless you. I want to let you guys know what's happening with Kim's brother, Pat. He's on life support right now. And he had ended up contracting that other the cootie bug, the second version of it. I forget what they call it, beta or something. But he contracted that. He knew that he had it. He went to the hospital. He was diagnosed as positive, and then he went to Kim's dad's house for when they were there working out details for their father. And he showed up over there sick and didn't say anything to anybody. Kim was not there. She was still up here. She was en route, and he left before she got there. And her sister has had the potion or whatever that the shots they're giving people. I forget what they call it, but her sister's already been inoculated. It's not the word. I forget what it's called, but yes, Roxanne, Delta. I'm sorry, the Delta variant is what he has. Well, he went back home, and evidently he got really bad, and he went to the hospital. Brother Robert and Squatching Cowboy, good deal. So glad you guys made it. God bless you. But Pat went to the hospital, and they admitted him, and they put him in an induced sleep. I don't think it's really a coma, but it's like a deep sleep. They put him under. Hey, buddy. But his body is not, he's not ejecting the carbon dioxide in his blood, and it's building up. And so he had to go through dialysis to try to remove some of that garbage from his bloodstream to save his life. And they have him on life support, and his wife is wanting to take him off, unplug him Monday. So we're trying to work out details on getting Kim back down there again. Our car isn't the greatest in the world. It's got the fan, the AC's been out for years. We're okay with no air conditioning, but we always had the fan. You can turn the fan on, and it's not cold air, but as long as you're moving, it's cool. It keeps you cool. It went out 3 or 4 days ago. I think the knob, something melted in it. It's really hard to turn it, but it doesn't come on at all. And so we got to get her back down to DeLand, Daytona area. But now, as of a few minutes ago, her brother's wife decided that she's not going to pull the plug on him. So I don't know what's going on with him yet. It's not looking good at all. So when you guys are closing your day out tonight and saying your prayers, please send a prayer for him. We are more concerned with getting him saved than we are getting him healed. He's not saved. And well, we'll just leave it at that. He's not saved, and he needs the Lord in his life big time. The Teresma, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Vicky from Massachusetts. Oh, God bless you. So good to see you. Thank you for jumping over. Long Island Bigfoot. I knew you'd pop in. I was hoping I'd see you. Kelly Burns. So good to see everybody. Kelly from Pensacola. Oh, wow. The girl with a short skirt and a long jacket. Kelly, we're neighbors. We're really close. It's so good to see you. Welcome. Thank you for jumping over and hanging out with us. And of course, Tom Paul, Carolyn Gilbert. I thought, let's see, I'm just going back up. Hold on, buddy. Don't pick my pocket. Making sure I didn't miss nobody. I thought I seen Susan in the chat, and I'm not finding her name. I hope I'm not overlooking you. If I did, I apologize. definitely not meaning to do that. Um, Still crazy, Chris. You've got a 460 air, four windows down, doing 60 miles an hour. Yes, amen to that. Absolutely. Yeah, every now and then that car hits 70. We've had it at 70 a couple times. I'm afraid to go faster than that. Parts start falling off. Uh, Ken Braden, head him up, move him out. Hallelujah. So good to see everyone. Well, I'm gonna, hold on, buddy. I got Goomba over here licking the sweat off of me. This is anytime we're out here, that's kind of what he does. Hey, bud, why don't you go lay down somewhere? You need to get in there? You need to go in? All right, let me see if I can pull these up. I'm sorry, I got Goombas right here with me. And now I got one of the other ones over here too. Oh, that's True. True is one of the new babies. I posted a picture of him a few weeks back when we picked him up. He's an awesome little guy. He's a little bitty thing, but he is not afraid of none of the big boys. I'm going to pull up some of these articles and let you hear them. These things are just a lot of them that they're writings that some of them are in news articles, some of them I believe are in magazines. This one here, it's about the beast in Land Between the Lakes. Trying to find the actual name. Your Weather Edge is the website, and this was let me see if this is the right one. I don't want to mislead you guys, but it's very interesting. They just go through a lot of what we've heard before, but just a little more information. Hear it from someone else's perspective is, to me, I'm always fascinated. I can hear the same story 10 times if it's told by different people. Different people put just a different twist on it. And we know these things exist. How these encounters happen, we'll never know, unless you were there yourself. But it's scary nonetheless. This one, I'm trying to find the beginning. It's got a section at the beginning that kind of leads to where the story's going. And, well, I guess we'll just start at there were so many I looked at. It may be a different one I'm thinking of. If I miss any of you guys, if you pop in the chat and I don't see you and I haven't recognized you, please forgive me. I will. I'll certainly try. And then, before we close out, if you guys have anything that you need to announce, you have any prayer requests, anything of the sort, then we'll get you to put all those up in capital letters and we'll get them out. Prayer requests, or there's nothing more important you can do for another human being than to pray and to bring the work of the Holy Spirit into their life. The Holy Spirit is the comforter for us. And these times and days that we're in, we all could use a little bit of it. Oh, Daniel Bice. Oh, Daniel says I found a connection between Pilates 411 and a Navajo Bigfoot story. Brother Daniel, if you would like to share that here, if there's something, if you have something you want to come on the show and share, anything of the sort, let me know. And we'll absolutely get you on here. If you have something you would rather write up and have me read to it, you'd absolutely get all the credit for it. Very little that I put up here is actually from me, other than these shows. You guys are family to me, and I love to just hang out and shoot the breeze with you. It makes for a wonderful night. Let me see, well, I got behind. That's right, we'll get it going. Michael Bishop, glad you made it, brother. Always good to see Michael. Let's see, I'm gonna read this article to you. This one, the guy's he's kind of all over the place, but it's really interesting what he's talking about. Stories, the Land Between the Lakes, and I'm going to read it as he has it written. Another big cockroach. I'm outside. I'm not inside my house, so that's the reason all these cockroaches are coming around me. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start this out, and I'll just glance up every once in a while. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. I'm not sure which end the microphone's on this tablet. I think it's this side, yeah, over here. I believe. All righty, I'll show you the picture. This is a little picture that they put up. I don't know if you can see it that well. That's just a drawing that I guess the author of this writing put up. Pretty strange. I've never seen nothing like that. Hope I don't. All right, now I'm going to read what he wrote because it kind of leads into what he's the story that he's telling. He says, I have to admit, when I first heard the stories about a beast in Land Between the Lakes, I was skeptical. I remember thinking this was just another Bigfoot story that was told as entertainment around the campfires of those camping there. But as I read the accounts of those who had seen the creature, it became obvious this was something much more sinister than Bigfoot. Then I started seeing an event posted on Facebook inviting people to go on a hunt for Bigfoot on March 20th. It is to be held at 6 p.m. It is to be held at 6 p.m. And they wrote that sideways. With everyone meeting at the parking lot of the visitor center where the planetarium is located. Lots of folks, around 2,000, have expressed an interest in going. I will not be one of them. Now, I will not say one way or the other whether or not Bigfoot exists in LBL, but I do know if any of the stories of the beasts of LBL are true, it will make Bigfoot seem like a sissy in comparison. I have written about this beast about a year ago. This time I was determined to try to find hard facts instead of just stories that had been passed down. In my last post, I told a frightening story of a beast that is said to be living in Land Between the Lakes. I call this frightening because there appears to be some evidence to back up claims of the creature's existence. The creature itself is typically said to look rather like a bipedal wolf, standing around 7 feet tall and sporting clawed hands, powerful jaws with wicked teeth, glowing red eyes, and cloaked in a fetid, rotting stench. The area and its surrounding region have long held such dark legends from before the time of the first settlers to trickle into western Kentucky. Some of the first Europeans in the region were French trappers and hunters who claimed that the forests were prowled by a massive beast, half man and half wolf, which would howl in the night and leave the mutilated carcasses of animals in its wake, a monstrous entity that was called the Loup-garou. When settlers began to come into the region, they are said to have been plagued by some large predator which lurked in the shadows, killing and maiming their livestock, with witnesses saying the culprit was a hairy wolf-like beast on 2 legs, which unleashed blood-curdling howls and shrieks into the night. The sightings of the monster were still frequent throughout the beginning of the 20th century. There have seemingly been quite a lot of alleged encounters with the beasts of the Land Between the Lakes, even up into more modern times. There are several more stories that I have heard about this werewolf in LBL. There were groups of Boy Scouts that had seen it, and several more campers, fishermen, and boaters that had seen it from the safety of their boats, floating in some of the many bays that touch the shoreline. Hikers and bikers have heard it howling and have seen something stalking them while they were on rural trails, hiding amongst the trees and foliage. Hunters have run across deer carcasses that had been brutally torn apart. In the meantime, others have come forward with their own experiences with the fierce, elusive beast and reports of a feeling of being watched, hearing howls, or coming across the badly mauled carcasses of deer and other wildlife have come into occasion. All of them agreed that this was no Bigfoot or Sasquatch. The most recent sighting I could find occurred on Labor Day 2017 in the area of Lake Barkley State Park. This person recorded the howls of the beast, which can be heard at the following link. And they give a link for it. Um, I did listen to it, and to me, it sounds like coyotes when they're on a mating run. That's what it sounded like to me. It was too far off in the distance to really tell anything from it. And it's just a YouTube link. It's some people talking about a recording that they got. They play it, but me personally, I just wasn't really impressed with it. I've heard the same type howls around here, and I think it's coyotes, but could be wrong. Very possibly could be wrong. See, in August of 2010, another sighting was very descriptive. The following is an excerpt from an investigator's report on the incident. Location details from Cadiz, Kentucky. Follow 68 west, heading towards land between the lakes. Turn right on 1489 to the Lake Barkley Resort and Marina. The incident took place about 2 miles up the Kentucky 1489 road from the Kentucky 68. The environment. The area the sighting took place in was a heavily wooded area along the edge of the main road connecting the Kentucky 68 to the Lake Barkley Resort and Marina. The witness described the creature to be approximately 7 to 7.5 feet tall and 3 feet wide, stocky with matted medium brown hair. She first saw the deer break brush and run alongside her vehicle, quickly dashing in front of her van and across the road. She originally mistook the creature for a tree or bush, but realized the creature was chasing behind the deer. She said as it passed right outside the driver's side window, it seemed to have a surprised look in its eyes. The creature was so close to the vehicle, she could have reached out and touched it. The creature did not cross in front of her after the deer, and the encounter lasted a few seconds. She could no longer see it as soon as it was out of the headlights. Her husband was also in the vehicle, but only her son saw it as well. I found the witness to be very forthcoming and genuine, describing the sighting she and her son had that evening. Still, other reports from the 70s and 80s claim the creature stalked and brutally killed a family of 4. Another says a bow hunter was killed and torn apart by some creature. But I haven't been able to verify these yet. Sometimes physical evidence is claimed, such as odd footprints, tufts of hair, and dugout nests that appear to have been slept in by something large, but these have all remained inconclusive at best. Almost all of the incidents concerning the werewolf beast came from the area north of Highway 68-80. This is, I'm going to show you if I can zoom it up some. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to make this out, but here's a picture they attached that's supposed to be the print of the dogman, the werewolf, whatever it is. It's a huge foot. Trying to keep the glare off of it. I'm sorry about that. That light is so bright. See if I can block it out a bit. Oh, that ain't helping. Well, shucks. Sorry about that. I tried to get it up. JK said that story is on Cryptid Studies Institute. Oh, good deal. Let's see. I just seen We're Bound Bigfoot wrote something. That's the one. I don't believe the dogman would have left him. Yes. Don Moore says as a teenager, he fired a shot, hit its shoulder, but it didn't fall, so he rolled under the camper and lifted himself off the ground, hugging the undercarriage. That's frightening. That is really frightening. Let's see. I'm going to carry on. There may be some stuff in there that I've heard some of this before, but not all of it. But there's a lot of us that haven't heard any of it. And so I'm going to carry on. I hope you guys don't mind. If I find where I'm at. Okay, there we are. Other Bigfoot sightings have come from various areas nearby, but not in the area of the werewolf. Strange. A person who actually saw the werewolf beast contacted me and gave me a first-hand account of the experience. She described the odor of the creature the same as some of the other sightings. She told me it was in May of 2012 near Wrangler's Camp in LBL. She has only spoken of it to one other person except for me, and she asked me not to reveal her name. She had hiked a short distance up a hill when she unexpectedly came fairly close to the beast sitting and watching her. It let out the most blood-curdling snore she had ever heard. She stated she was frozen with terror and began praying. Finally, when it stood up, she described the beast as massive and around 7 feet tall with large canine teeth. Finally, the beast left in one direction and she ran as fast as she could in the other. She has never been back there since. It is obvious that there is enough evidence to believe that something is out there. Some of the stories of the beast date back to over 200 years. Some theorize that a whole family of them inhabit hidden caves in the region. So what is the beast of the land between the lakes? Is it an actual werewolf, as some have claimed? No one really knows, but it remains an unsettling case of what might or might not be something very strange and dangerous indeed, roaming about in the wilderness of the land between the lakes. And that's all that this man has written in that article. It was one of them I found extremely interesting. That there's several more. I'm gonna pull up a few more for you. And see, Jeff says, I disagree that they cannot be killed. I know for a fact that I could have blown its head off. I also saw the fear in its own expression when it realized it too. And I can verify that. I was with Brother Jeff when that happened. We were right up on him, and there wasn't, he wasn't projecting any fear to us at all, but it was very unnerving to see something like that and to realize that it was alive. It was a breathing, living animal. That was, it was just rough. And I wanted to get out of there. I didn't like it at all. And Jeff's ready to go. So we packed bags and boogied. All right. Let me see if I can, here's some more. This one's got like an introduction on it, and I'm going to skip that. All right, this is, I'm not sure. I don't think I even read this one. Peter Stubb, the werewolf farmer of Bedburg, 1589. According to Peter Stubb, a farmer in the Rhineland who lived just outside of the town of Bedburg during a time when there was a huge amount of political and religious upheaval. The part of Germany where Stubb lived had been laid waste during the Cologne War between Catholics and Protestants. Now, citizens of the town were being killed, and rumors began to circulate about a wolf-like creature roaming around, killing both people and livestock. It was described as greedy, strong and mighty, with eyes great and large, which in the night sparkled like unto brands of fire, a mouth great and wide, with most sharp and cruel teeth, a huge body and mighty paws. I'm sorry about the background noise. Some kids out there has got a vehicle that needs to be fixed, it sounds like. People lived in increasing fear of the creature, traveling in heavily armed groups when they had to go from one town to another. And each newly discovered victim would only increase that fear. Attempts were made for several years to capture and kill the monster, but with no success, until 1589, when a group of men managed to track the creature and encircle it with their dogs. When the hunters closed in, they found not a wolf, but Stubb. It's not clear whether the townsmen actually saw Stubb transform or if he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but he was captured. Stubb was tortured and confessed to killing one man, two pregnant women, and 13 children, according to a pamphlet circulated in London the next year. He further told his captors that he had made a pact with the devil when he was 12 years old, exchanging his soul for various worldly pleasures. Stubb didn't feel this was enough incentive on its own, so Satan gave him a belt that allowed him to turn into a wolf. He used it to commit any number of atrocities, including incest, murder, and cannibalism. He was executed on October 31st, 1589, horribly and gruesomely. He was lashed to a wheel while the flesh was torn from him with heated pincers. All his limbs were broken. He was decapitated, and as a final step, his body was burned. His mistress and daughter were also accused of incest and were burned alive. Stubb's head was mounted on the body of a wolf and set in public as a warning to others who might be considering lycanthropy. Lycanthropy. I can't pronounce that. I don't know if that was rain or if I just got pooped on by a bird or a rat. There are tree limbs above me. All right, this one is Gilles Garner, 1573, The Werewolf of Dole. Are y'all still with me here? I know it's going to get kind of odd. Oh, there's Denise. A whisper to a scream. Who's your Squatch? Oh, you guys welcome. Thank you for jumping over. I probably missed somebody. My apologies. Not intentional. I am absolutely a one-track man. I can only do one thing at a time. All right, this one I'm going to read this one to you. It's titled Gilles, I guess it's Garnier. Gilles Garnier, 1573, The Werewolf of Dole. And this, I guess it was from werewolves.com. It says, werewolves.com reports that Gilles Garnier lived outside the French town of Dole and was essentially a hermit. A while after Garnier's residence began, children from the town began to disappear or to turn up dead, mutilated, and dissected. Local law authorities concluded it must be the work of a werewolf and encouraged the citizenry to be on the lookout for and to hunt the wolf. A group of men from near Dole were doing just that when they spotted what appeared to be a werewolf looming over the body of a child. When they came close enough, they saw that it wasn't a wolf, it was a hermit. It was Hermit Garnier. Likely after torture, he confessed at his trial, saying he had been visited by a ghost or demon, which had given him an ointment that would turn him into a wolf. He confessed to killing and eating several children who had ventured into the woods and said he shared the meat with his wife. Garnier was found guilty of witchcraft and lycanthropy and was burned at the stake. You know, this, I know it sounds far-fetched, but I wonder if there's any truth to, because you've heard about skinwalkers and how they come about being able to transform into an animal by wearing that animal's hide. I'm wondering if there's any truth to these stories. You know, dealing with any demonic force, anything's possible. And they absolutely have the power to transform you. But it's hard to fathom something like that. There's so many reports of it. G. Brother Dave, it's good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Absolutely. Let's see what this one. I don't like reading the ones where it's got children in it. this, all right, this one is Jacques Roulet, 1598, The Werewolf of Angers. According to Mental Floss, what information is known about Jacques Roulet comes from an 1865 account from Sabine Baring Gould. Reportedly, in 1598, some men had come upon the mutilated body of a boy in the woods. Two wolves were spotted tearing at the body, but took off as the men approached. The men pursued the wolves, following their bloody tracks until they lost them. At the same time, the men spotted Roulet, bloody and half naked, crouching in the woods nearby. That was a roach. Don't call it. Roulet was captured and arrested. Get off of me. He confessed to the murder and said that he had a salve that turned him into a wolf. He further said that the boy wasn't his first such crime, and that he had killed and eaten others. Roulet's confession was unusual in that there was no evidence that he gave it under torture. He made no claims to witchcraft or of having made a deal with the devil. He was convicted of murder, cannibalism, and lycanthropy, and was sentenced to death. His case was appealed, though, and he ended up being determined feeble-minded. He was instead sentenced to undergo religious education for 2 years and sent to an asylum. That is strange. And these stories, all of these are from the 1500s. And that there's a couple more. There were 5 in this group. I'm making sure that there's not any. I don't want to end up coming across a foul word or anything. I don't accidentally read something like that. This one is The Werewolves of Poligny, 1521. This story involved a group, according to werewolves.com. The story begins with a traveler passing through the French town of Poligny who was attacked by a wolf. The traveler fought the beast, wounding it and causing it to flee. The man followed the blood trail left by the injured beast, and it led him to the door of a house in which a woman was binding her husband's injured arm. The traveler was suspicious, and he reported the entire incident to the authorities, who captured the man and tortured him. Michael Vernon confessed that he was a shapeshifter. He also confessed to murder, cannibalism, and trafficking with the devil. Lastly, he named 2 other men who were also shapeshifters, Perrier Bourgeau and Philbert Montaut. The 2 named men were brought in for questioning, and Bourgeau confessed also to shapeshifting and to committing some other pretty heinous crimes. Mental Floss expands on Bourgeau's confession, saying that Bourgeau told of making a deal with 3 mysterious strangers to protect his sheep. Bourgeau claims he was told only later that the deal included renouncing God, and that he received the ointment from Verdun, which allowed him to shapeshift, and the 2 men jointly killed, or at least 2 children. It's not known for certain if Montaut also confessed, but it is known he was executed with the other 2 men. Wow, that's bizarre. Extremely bizarre. The time that werewolves stopped in Europe was about the same time as colonization of the New World. Brother JK said. Wow. Yep. Hoosier Squatch saying bobcats were basically a myth also. Yep. I have heard that before. I don't remember where. I think I've seen it on a show many years ago. See now, it's good to see you. What is the breed of dog, man? I'm not sure. They don't go into great detail on these accounts. See, this and maybe the last one in this pile. maybe this one to give us a little more information. This one's titled The Wolf of Ansbach, dated 1685. In 1685, Ansbach in Germany was part of the Holy Roman Empire. The district was faced with an actual wolf, which was killing and eating their livestock and eventually made the step up to killing people. The terrified citizens were certain that not only was the culprit a werewolf, but that the wolf was really the town's former mayor, who was never named in the accounts, but is clearly disliked. Excuse me. Back from the dead in the form of a wolf. A hunting party went after the wolf with a number of dogs and drove the wolf into a well where it was killed. The citizens, still firmly believing that the animal was a werewolf, cut off the wolf's nose, put the mask of a human face on it, dressed it in men's clothing, and hung it from a pole, presumably as a warning to any other werewolves who might consider that area a good hunting ground. These days, we hear of werewolves primarily in movies, and they are sometimes feared, sometimes pitied. Either way, when the movie is done, the werewolf question is resolved. Long ago, in days before movies, the fear of werewolves was not so easily resolved. Being suspected of lycanthropy was a sure sentence of torture and death. And these are fascinating, but odd nonetheless. Definitely odd. Let me see. I'm trying to. This may be the one I'm looking for. I have to accept cookies to read this one for some reason. I think this is the one I was looking for. All right. This one I'm going to. I think I'm gonna have to start from the beginning on this. Yeah, it's kind of part of the story here. And this one is got a somewhat of a title. Looked like a werewolf running around. The terrifying dog man of Lincolnshire. Elusive. There have been reports of a giant dog-like creature in the region dating back to the 1600s, and photos show something very strange. Photos show something very strange could be going on. Lincolnshire locals have been terrorized by a huge dogman creature for hundreds of years, a paranormal expert says. Lee Solway, host of the Realm of the Supernatural podcast, told Daily Star Online there have been reports of a giant dog-like creature in the region dating back to the 1600s. Mr. Solway says there was a particular eerie encounter in 1995 when a local Grimsby official was notified by a security guard that something that looked like a werewolf running around had been spotted at a caravan park. When the man arrived on the scene to investigate, he found a van parked on the road with no one inside. Terrified locals hiding nearby called out to him to run, saying a huge wolf with glowing eyes had chased off the previous guard. The official never saw the creature, and the first security guard never returned to work. American cryptid fanatics have long documented sightings of the folkloric dogman, even capturing said creature on camera. The legend is described as a 7-foot tall blue or amber-eyed canine-like animal with the torso of a man and a fearsome howl. The first reported sighting of the dogman in North America came in 1887, and there have been multiple accounts since. Paranormal believers had a field day in 2018 when a mysterious creature was shot dead in a forest in Montana, puzzling scientists who couldn't work out what species it was. This one, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. I actually remember this one out. Well, I don't know what, there it is. Okay. I'll show you guys. Well, it'll stop. moving around. Okay, baby, love you too. But that's it. That one's more like a wild dog, but they couldn't identify what it was. I do remember that one. But this one leads into this other story, so I'm going to continue. I hope y'all are all right with that. Blue-eyed Northern. Oh, I just seen you jump in. It's good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, photos of the animal's body show it had long, dark gray fur, an elongated snout, and a big head. Experts said its ears were too large and its legs and torso too short for it to be a wolf, which are common in North America. Wolves haven't roamed the UK for about 500 years, so sightings of large wild dogs cause much more alarm. Nick Redfern, a lecturer and journalist who covers unsolved mysteries such as Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and UFOs, confirms there have been a number of reported dogmen sightings in the UK. There was a spate of them in the summer of 2006. He wrote for Mysterious Universe. It was in late June of that year when all hell broke loose. Reports flew around Staffordshire, England's Cannock Chase Woods to the effect that nothing less than a fully grown wolf was wildly roaming the area. Can y'all hear the talking? The sound like mumbling? Kim just poked her head out to tell me good night just a second ago. That wasn't 2 minutes ago. I'm hearing mumbling. Blue-eyed Northern. I love it. Definitely love the name. That's awesome. All right. I'm sorry about that. I'm hearing mumbling over there in the woods. And it just started. Can y'all hear that? It's pretty loud. It's a little eerie. Gene says, yes, ask them to slow down. Maybe you will understand it. I don't know if it's people out in the woods over there or there's no lights. It's really, really dark. It's overcast. We got rain coming, so we don't even have stars out tonight. That's loud. Oh, sorry, guys. I get messed up really easily. All right. Early on the morning of June 28th, a motorist on junction 10A on the M6 motorway near Cannock jammed Highways Agency phone lines with reports of a wolf-like creature that was seen racing between lanes at rush hour. Motorists stared with utter disbelief as the 3-foot-long beast, described as grayish-black, racing between lines, skillfully dodging cars before leaping for cover in nearby trees. There's evidence of other phenomena in Lincolnshire that seem to indicate strange activity in the area. The realm of the supernatural co-host Finchy took a photo of 2 bloody deer legs strewn across the A18 near Humberside Airport. Soon after, a huge creature described as darker than night was spotted nearby. Mr. Solway also photographed a bizarre twisted tree in Willingham Woods, market raisin that had been violently broken, as though a large creature had swept past it. He doesn't buy many people's assumption that those who have sighted the dogmen were just on drugs. They'd be some very good drugs to let you see that, is what this man says. Um, I don't know why. Oh, this one I've got to go to another. Oh, that's it. That's the end of that story. I'm sorry. That page is doing all kind of weird stuff. This one, this is one I'd found a couple weeks ago. Yes, Bama Bigfoot, absolutely. I'm definitely staying awake, staying alert and awake. I can still hear it. I can almost pinpoint exactly where it's at, but there's nothing over there. I mean, I can't see, but so far into the woods, right there. It's right by the sinkhole. If you guys that have seen the videos we done here at the house, it's right there by that sinkhole. And I'm shining the light at the direction where those voices are coming from, and it's not changing. They're still mumbling. I don't see anything. Nothing there. It's really weird. It sounds like a male and a female talking, or an adult male and a youth. It's kind of creepy. Hoosier Squatch says, I just watched that video. That's interesting. Good, good deal. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'd like to watch it too. All right, this one is titled Yeehaw, Yeahoh, Yeehaw, Yahoo, or Bigfoot. Long before it became the brand of a search engine, the creature whose uttered cry gave it a name haunted Kentuckians. Daniel Boone told tales of killing a 10-foot hairy giant he called a Yahoo, says John Farragher in the 1992 biography of Daniel Boone. The Yahoos are hairy, man-like creatures in Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, one of Boone's favorite books. Boone and his explorer companions, it should be noted right from the get-go, threw around many of the terms used in that book rather liberally. Excuse me. Where are we at? Oh, sorry, I went too far. All right, Boone was encamped with 5 other men on Red River. Theodore Roosevelt relates in his Daniel Boone's Move to Kentucky, 1897, and they had with them for their amusement the history of Samuel Gulliver's Travels, wherein he gave an account of his young master, Glumdalek, carrying him on a market day for a show to a town called Lulbigrud. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time pronouncing these words. They're a little beyond my vocabulary. Uh, in the party who, amid such strange surroundings, read and listened to Swift's writings as a young man named Alexander Neely. One night he came into camp with 2 Indian scalps taken from a Shawnee village he had found on a creek running into the river, and he announced to the circle of grim wilderness veterans that he had been that day to Lulbigrud and had killed 2 Brobdingnags in their capital. To this day, the creek by which 2 luckless Shawnees lost their lives is known as Lulbigrud Creek. Folklore scholar H. Trotty suggests that Boone's tall tales may be the origin of some of the Bigfoot tales in North America. Could the term Yeehaw used for such a creature in the following story simply be a corruption of Swift's Yahoos? And this is, I think this is an insert from the book right here. Once upon a time, they's a man laying out, and he went to a cave. He was laying out in there, and the Yeehaw came and throwed a deer into him. Something would come every day and throw a deer into him and leave out. On time that Yeehaw come and got down in there with him, and not long after that, she had a kid. Then one time he took a notion to leave her, and he would go to leave, and she wouldn't let him go. She'd make him come back. Finally, he got out, and he got on a ship going across the waters. And he got started and rode off and left her. And she stood there and hollered and screamed after him. And when she seen he got away from her, she couldn't go, why she tore the baby in two and throwed one half in after him. That's nasty. And that told by Nancy McDaniel of Big Leatherfoot Creek, Perry County, Kentucky, to folktale collector Leonard Roberts, who published it under the title The Origin of Man in South from Hell for Sarton, 1955. That was the little insert. Thought it had a little more to it than that. Okay. I read this a couple of weeks ago, but it wasn't. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. I know I am. I just don't remember that. All right, I think this is the one. This is where it gets kind of interesting. Oh, Dundee Woolley. Welcome, 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 brother. Glad you made it. I just happened to see your name up there. All right. Okay, if Kentuckians heard it passed down from Boone, who got it from Swift? How did Swift learn of Yahoo tales? Or did he simply spin them from his imagination? One possible clue, though Nancy McDaniel's tale is told in the hills, it mentions ships and crossing the waters as the escape route for the captive human. Tales of women shipwrecked or marooned on an island populated by monkeys or apes, fed and housed by a dominant monkey and forced to cohabit and bear offspring before escaping and seeing their hybrid children murdered by the irate simian parent, may have arisen in early 16th century Portugal and also exists in similar forms in the Americas and across Asia. The idea of a semi-human was also floating through scientific circles in the first half of the 18th century in 1758. Carolus Linnaeus theorized that a form between man and ape existed, which he named Homo troglodytes. I've heard that Homo troglodytes, I just don't know what it is. Oh, Brother Mike. Mike Stone, good to see you. God bless you, brother. I'm glad you made it. Even if it's only for a minute. It's always a blessing to have you here with us. And from the 1844 edition, they have an evil spirit which causes them great terror, whom they call Yahoo or Devil. He lives in the tops of the steepest and rockiest mountains, which are totally inaccessible to all human beings, and comes down at night to seize and run away with men, women, or children whom he eats up, children being his favorite food. The name of Yahoo being used to express a bad spirit or bugaboo was common also with the Aborigines of Van Diemen's Land, Tasmania. The tribes mentioned here are located in the region around Botany Bay, near Sydney and slightly westward, site of the first British settlement in Australia in 1788. Gulliver's Travels was written in 1726. Did the Aborigines, like early Kentuckians, absorb Swift's tale from the new colonists and make it local? Or did Swift, to create his characters, draw on much older Aboriginal folk tales, possibly passed along to him by seafarers predating cook. The debate continues. Uh, that is, that's interesting. I don't know if you guys found that interesting, but just anything documented for me personally, where they've documented apes and human women having offspring. It's scary, but it's interesting. It's really, really interesting. And this is the one that I was wanting to read you guys last night, but I never did do that. This one is Bigfoot in Maine. A 10-foot tall wild man was killed in 1886. The newspapers reported, and they got an editor's note at the top of the page here, and it says this story contains passages from newspaper reports 127 years ago that today might be offensive to some readers. The intent is to accurately reproduce the accounts from that time period. If there's any foul language in here, I will not read it. I will do my very best to skip over it or to put a different word in place of it. I prefer not to have that filth come out of my mouth. I have enough problem keeping teeth in my mouth. I don't need to have bad words and that junk coming out too. All right, this is Waterville, Maine. In the same month, the Statue of Liberty was dedicated in New York in 1886. A handful of newspapers in New England published stories about a deadly encounter in the Maine woods involving what today likely would be termed Bigfoot or Sasquatch. The story of the 10-foot tall wild man with 7-foot long arms and hair growing all over his face and body was reported in broadsheets of the time after first gracing the pages of the Waterville Sentinel, a weekly paper that no longer exists. The Waterville Morning Sentinel was established 18 years later in 1904. Excuse me. I got to get a drink of water. Wow. Took a drink of water and I seen two glowing yellow eyes looking at me on the fence over here, and it's glow flies. They happen to, I guess, light up at the same time. I almost ran for the back door. That kind of spooked me. I don't like hearing that mumbling stuff over there. I'm not seeing anything, so that's good. Maybe it might be coming from the highway. Maybe I don't know. All right, here we go. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Tales of these seldom seen mysterious ape-like beasts are found in Maine folklore, according to experts, but they are more prevalent in California, Washington, and Oregon tales. Online searches yield hundreds of similar stories from around the globe. The main story starts in early October 1886 when an affrighted Frenchman from over the line arrived in the Elm City to weave a frightening tale of woe, according to an excerpt from the Sentinel published in at least two other papers of the era, the Wilton Record and the Industrial Journal of Bangor. The Frenchman's story, which is implicitly believed, is that three men were camping out in the woods about 100 miles north of Moosehead Lake. The 127-year-old newspaper article states, two of the campers were away from the camp for a week and came back to find the dead body of their companion. The unnamed storyteller, possibly a Canadian, had his fellows in town all by the ears with the story about the giant wild man he encountered in the dense woods above Moosehead, according to the papers. When he and the other camper discovered their friend was dead, they searched out others to form a posse to find his killer. They went for help and, reinforced by a dozen others, searched the woods for the unknown murderer. The stories read, it proved to be a terrible wild man, 10 feet tall, with arms 7 feet in length, covered with long brown hair. The party fired several shots at him and finally succeeded in reaching a fatal spot, laying the monster low. Newspapers of this era used few images, and none of the articles had uh, accompanying sketches of the wild man. The Sentinel story was picked up by the Wilton Record and ran in the Franklin County Towns newspaper on October 6, 1886, under items of interest. 2 days later, the same article appeared in the Industrial Journal, a weekly newspaper used in Bangor, that was devoted to the manufacturing, commercial, agricultural, railway and steamship, hotel and summer resort, and fish and game interest of the Northeast. That's a big or long title for a section of a paper. The 5-cent newspaper's headline for the Friday, October 8, 1886 story read, A New Kind of Game. The story spread. The St. Albans Daily Messenger of Vermont listed the story under Odd Gleanings in its October 12, 1886 edition. There is no mention of the events in the Bangor Whig and Courier. The Bangor Commercial, Piscataquis Observer, the Aroostook Times, or Fulton Pioneer Times, according to a quick review of the newspapers that have survived on microfilm. The Vermont newspaper started its story, The Wild Man is Coming to the Front this fall. A Maine newspaper of repute says that one 10 feet high was recently killed 100 miles north of Moosehead Lake. He had previously killed one of 3 hunters, and the other 2 got reinforcements and slew the giant. In 1886, the 1886 story is one of many Bigfoot accounts in Maine, according to Michelle Solier, a Portland blogger who writes the Strange Maine Web Journal about mysteries, legends, and cryptozoology in the state. Let's see. I think this is as far as I got when I was reading it, but I'm going to continue. Maybe something in here interesting. In Maine especially, there's quite a lot, she said Friday. It's a little scattered over the years, but there's actually a lot of wild man, Bigfoot folklore around. The Strange Maine Arthur is also working on a book with well-known cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman, owner of the International Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, about Bigfoot in Maine. She said the 1886 wild man is already part of the book. Bigfoot sightings in Maine date to the mid-1850s and include stories of an Indian devil the local natives called Pamula, who reportedly lived around Mount Katahdin, Solier said in one blog about Bigfoot. New England folklorist Peter Muse, based in Boston, said Bigfoot stories around the region but can be found all over the world under different names. Bigfoot came from California and Sasquatch came from British Columbia, and they eventually merged, he said. Yeti came from Tibet, Nepal, and the Himalayas. Muse said he's not sure he believes the tales, but I do know it's a good story. The fact that newspapers of that era shared their stories always amazes Solier. A lot of the stories I found are from other states, she said. On slow news days, really hairy men were good press across the country. It makes you wonder how many of the stories the newspapers had that they fabricated. Pauline McDougall, Maine Folklife Center director, said a quick search of the University of Maine archives turned up 3 primate sightings in New Brunswick, 2 that were at least 10 feet tall. Wow. A 10-year-old boy reported in May of 1961 that he spotted an 11-foot man with 5.5-foot arms and covered with hair. In the fall of 1986, a man driving along a rural highway said he came across a 10-foot hairy man who weighed about 1,000 pounds and had reddish brown hair. The ape walked in an upright manner and was agile and quick, he reported, in the Folk Life Center archives the show. Folk Life Center archived it, I guess. The 1886 story does not say what happened to the body of the wild man. It only says news of his existence was spreading like wildfire in Waterville. The Sentinel article states, the abundance of stories involving a Bigfoot type creature leads Solier to believe in the mysterious. That is one reason she started her blog in 2005. I'm never going to run out of material, Solier said. There are all these strange little things tucked in the corners of the state. You never know what is lurking in the dense woods of Maine. That was pretty interesting. A little better than the other one. There's a good one in there. I just can't find it. Oh, Flat Rock. There he is. I know most of you guys probably know most of these stories. They're new to me, with the exception of the one. Oh, Brother Paul. Paul said he better have an industrial Old Spice. Yes, indeed. I'm trying to find the other story I'm looking for. I don't know if this is it. Oh, this is one I did not read. This one for sure. I read part of it. This is like a wolf, yet not a wolf. And I think the History Channel had that on a show at one time. Trying to get this turned right. Coin Digger, it's good to see you. Good to see everybody. What a group of amazing people we got here. I love every one of you guys and gals. God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, this one, let's see. We're going to give her a shot. Like a wolf, yet not a wolf. The first recorded fatal attack of the beast occurred on June 30th of 1764 when a 14-year-old shepherdess, Jean Boulet, tended a flock of sheep. Boulet was not the creature's first victim. As historian J. Smith writes in Monsters of the Gévaudan about 2 months prior, a young woman tending cattle was attacked by a creature like a wolf, yet not a wolf, but escaped because the herd defended her. The attacks continued through the summer and into autumn, according to George M. Eberhardt's 2002 book, Mysterious Creatures, A Guide to Cryptozoology. France was in a slump at the time on the heels of the 7 Years' War. The nation had lost battles to Prussia and the British, and Louis the 15th. Louis the 15th had lost overseas colonies. The beast offered a perfect foil to rally around, and there was no dearth of reports in the press about encounters with the animal. This is a hard one to pronounce. It's a French word, the Bête Féroce, which meaning ferocious beast, attacked and partially ate women and the young, according to the reports. But lone adult men were also targets. There were so many attacks that some speculated there were in fact 2 or more beasts. The terrified populace of Gévaudan did not sit idle, and individual stories of bravery captivated the public. As Smith writes, bounties were offered and hunters combed the countryside looking for the creature. On October 8th, 1764, hours after a mauling, the beast was seen at Chateau de la Baume stalking a herdsman. Hunters followed the animal into the estate's woods and flushed the animal into the open. The hunters shot a volley of musket fire into the creature, but after a fall, the beast rose and ran off. Maybe they were bad shots. I don't know. Even children were celebrated for taking on the beast. On January 12th, 1765, the beast attacked 10-year-old Jacques Portefax and a group of 7 friends ranging from 8 to 12 years old. However, Portefax led a counterattack with sticks, driving off the creature. The children were rewarded by Louis XV, and Portefax was given an education paid by the crown. The children's heroics prompted the court of King Louis XV to send royal hunters to destroy the beast. There was now a 6,000 liver bounty on the creature's head. It's not liver like the organ. It's Livre. I think it's pronounced liver. Oh, Frogman. Good to see you, Frogman. But they had a 6,000 liver bounty on the creature's head. The story of the beast, meanwhile, was spreading and covered the newspapers from Boston to Brussels, becoming one of the history's first media sensations. Among the most notable tales of bravery was when 19 or 20-year-old Marie Jean Valet was attacked by the beast on August 11th, 1765, while crossing the river Desges with her sister. Armed with a bayonet affixed to a pole, Valet impaled the beast's chest. The creature got away, but Valet became known as the Amazon and the Maid of Gévaudan. On September 20th, 1765, Francois Anton, the king's 71-year-old gun bearer, and his nephew shot a large wolf near an abbey at Chazes, which was assumed to be the beast. Anton was awarded with money and titles, and the corpse of the animal was stuffed and sent to the royal court. But attacks started again in December, according to an account in the 1898 volume of the Parisian Illustrated Review. This time the beast seemed different, at least behaviorally. Where before the creature had been afraid of cattle, this time it showed no fear. Was this then a second beast? The royal court chose to ignore these new attacks, insisting that Anton had killed the creature. Finally, a sudden outbreak of attacks in early June 1767 compelled a local nobleman, the Marquis d'Apcher, to organize a hunt. On June 19th, one of the hunters, a local man named Jean Chastel, shot a wolf on the slopes of Mount Mouchet. An autopsy of the animal revealed human remains inside, and the animal had non-wolf characteristics as described by witnesses. The attacks ended, but while it was assumed that the beast Chastel bagged was the beast, doubts remained that it was indeed a wolf. The beast was consistently described by witnesses as something other than a typical wolf. It was as large as a calf or sometimes a horse. Its coat was reddish-gray with a long, strong panther-like tail. The head and legs were short-haired and the color of a deer. It had a black stripe on its back and talons on its feet. Many drawings of the beast at the time endow it with lupine characteristics. Witnesses described the beast as an ambush hunter which stalked its prey and seized it by the throat. The wounds found on the bodies were typically to the head and limbs, with the remains of 16 victims reportedly decapitated. The creature prowled in the evenings and in the mornings. Historians, scientists, pseudoscientists, and conspiracy theorists have all proposed theories about what the beast was. Among the suspects, a Eurasian wolf, an armored war dog, a striped hyena, a lion, some kind of prehistoric predator, a werewolf, a dog wolf hybrid, and a human. Of the candidates, the most fanciful is the werewolf. Smith points out that Chastel purportedly used a silver bullet to slay the wolf, thereby feeding into the werewolf mythology. Also unrealistic is that the beast was an extinct prehistoric predator such as a bear dog, dire wolf, or hyanodon. I have no idea what that is. Hyaenodon. Hyanodon. The idea that such a large animal would evade detection for thousands to millions of years is just too implausible, Smith argues. Others have suggested that a human serial killer may be responsible for the attacks. Many of the beast's victims were reported to be decapitated, something few animals could do. While it is unlikely that a killer would roam about four victims in broad daylight wearing a bestial costume, those who support this theory believe that the human killer used an animal to carry out the crimes. What was the animal? Some have speculated that it was an armored war dog, which explains its strange appearance and why it shrugged off musket shots. Some depictions of the beast and the animal slain by Chastel suggest it resembled a striped hyena. It is possible that a striped hyena may have been in a person's private holding and then escaped. Since it was not native to France, it would have appeared unusual. However, striped hyenas are not known to attack humans. Karl Hans Taki, a biologist and author of the Gévaudan tragedy, The Disastrous Campaign of a Deported Beast, argues the beast may have been an immature male lion. Like the hyena, it is possible that a lion escaped from captivity. The beast reportedly was an ambush hunter that seized prey by the neck and could possibly decapitate a victim. A lion, Taki argues, could exhibit these predatory behaviors. Lions have been known to prey upon humans as food sources, such as the famous case of the lions of Saval, in which a lion pair killed over 130 victims in under a year. Another supporting fact is that the territory of the beast at roughly 56 by 50 miles aligns with a lion's typical range. Eyewitnesses in France at the time were likely not familiar with living lions, and what they did know about them came from very stylized imagery. A subadult male does not have a fully developed mane and sometimes has a mohawk type of stripe running down its back. This matches the descriptions of the beast by eyewitnesses. Taki argues one hunter at the time, Captain Jean-Baptiste Duhamel, wrote, "You will undoubtedly think, like I do, that this is a monster hybrid, the father of which is a lion. What its mother was remains to be seen." Among the theories considered most credible is that wolves perpetuated the attacks. As Smith tells Smithsonian, Gévaudan had a serious wolf infestation. He believes that large lone wolves were attacking individual communities across the region, or that it was a wolf pack. Smith asserts that many of the fantastical qualities attributed to the beast were induced by clergy who stirred up fear in the populace that God was punishing the French for its defeat in the 7 Years' War. For hunters, killing the beast was a way of reclaiming France's lost honor. Wolves are not native to the region and had attacked humans before. Some statistics show that wolves attacked humans 9,000 times in France between the 17th and 19th centuries. In most cases, these types of attacks were by rabid wolves. There are some potential flaws to the wolf theory, including the frequency of the beast's deadly attacks, suggesting it was not a single rabid wolf. Also, none of its victims seem to have contracted rabies, suggesting that their attacker also did not carry rabies. Although there are strong voices arguing multiple theories about the identity of the beasts of Javaldin, all admit that the truth will never be fully known. Without any genetic or forensic evidence, the beast of Javaldin is bound to forever remain a mystery. That was a pretty good story. There are a few more, and I don't want to burn you guys out. I thought I had a short one in here, and I thought this was it, but I'm not sure. This is about the River Bend Bigfoot sightings. Oh, yeah, that news. And so I'll go to where, yeah, this has got some actual encounters that they're up. Well, let me try to shorten this up. These are a lot of different encounters. Let's see. Oh, this one, it notes the BFRO's website in here. I don't think this is not from the website, but they may have taken these encounters from there. There's a helicopter. Awful odd for them to be coming out at night. Jay Cree, I didn't see you in there. I'm sorry, brother, if I missed you. Sure didn't mean to. Got a helicopter flying over. It's all right, guys. It's all right. Hey, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's all right. Hey, guys. Goats are panicking. That was a very low flying helicopter. That was weird. It's all right. It's all right, bud. It's all good. It's good. I got all the goats around my feet. Sorry about that. I know that's probably really loud for you all. All right. This one, let's see. Looking at the counties in or near the River Bend, Madison, there is, let's see, 23 reported sightings. Macoupin has 15, Jersey has 2, St. Clair has 4, Calhoun has 3, Pike has 1, and Green does not have any. I'm not sure what state these counties are in. This is a really long article, so I'll just jump down and read what where the people are telling what they've seen. Let's see, these numbers may be surprising to many because Madison County seems to have the most population of them, the Bigfoot Sasquatch. Perhaps, however, that is why it reports the most sightings, because more people are around to Squatch watch. The most recent sightings from Madison County came in November of 2016 in Troy, according to the BFRO's website. A witness reported the following sighting near Scott Troy Road. And this is where the guy's sharing his encounter. He says, I was driving along Scott Troy Road after work one night. It was around 8:15 p.m. when I was driving through some wooded parts of Scott Troy. I saw something large, black, and hairy take 2 to 3 giant bounds across the road before it disappeared on the other side. I slowed for a bit, trying to see what it was, but it was too dark to see what it was or where it had gone. The single witnesses said it was very large, standing at least 8 feet tall. He or she said the creature was fast enough to take a 2-lane road in 3 bounds. Oh, my nose itching. Trying not to sneeze. In October of 2011, another sighting was reported by a homeowner near Edwardsville. The event occurred near I-55, according to the witness report in the BIFR's website, the BFRO's website. The homeowner reported the following incident. I had just gotten my son down to sleep. It was 1 a.m. He sleeps in the back bedroom. I happened to walk by the window in the hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. For some reason, I heard a cough. It sounded like somebody clearing their throat. I had just put the pool down. We have one of those quick set ring pools that you blow up for my son. I just took it down and it was drying off. I thought somebody was out there looking at it or messing with it. So I opened the blinds and looked. I didn't see anything right off the bat. But then I saw something between the woods and my shed. It was just standing there, and it was big. The head looked huge. So I ran upstairs and got my night vision. When I kicked the night vision on, I could see every detail. I was staring up in the trees. He was at least 8.5 feet tall. He was about 40 years from the window. 40 yards from the window. He looked gray in color. It looked like a really big human. If people want to know what the face looks like, if you put this guy in a Viking movie with the horned helmet on, people would say he was a Viking. That's how human looking he was. He had really sunken eyes, but he was just looking up in the trees. And then I heard somebody's radio down at the parking lot of the bike trail. It was pretty amazing. I was watching him and thinking he's hanging out there because he's waiting for people to leave. Nobody could see him there. And the only reason I did is because I was walking by the window and saw something in my yard that is not normally there. I even went to wake my wife and have her see too that he was gone. And that sighting was investigated by the Biffers, investigator Stan Courtney. And he is Biffer's main investigator in Illinois. His blog can be found here, but I'm not going to click his blog. He has a special interest in wildlife recordings. Well, that's a good thing. While Angie Moan and the rest of the crew at TNI have not had Bigfoot sightings, gray foxes, whistle pigs, and homeless people, however, have been spotted at TNI. That does not mean the ape-like man or man-like ape has not made a few excursions into Godfrey. In the winter of 2011, a witness in Godfrey near Route 3 reported several incidents near his or her home. The person reported several sightings across his or her property, even saying members of the family have heard mysterious howls. After investigating reports of several incidents, Courtney reported the following. I spoke with a witness by phone and met him at his home. The witness went into great detail about a series of events. The home is surrounded by woods on all sides. He and his family have had the feeling of being watched several times. He had a friend that would come over to go mushroom hunt. The friend returned from the woods frightened, saying that he felt like he was surrounded and being escorted out of the woods. He never came back to mushroom hunt. Just before Christmas of 2012, the witness put up Christmas lights along his porch and bushes in the front of his home. While doing so, the witness said that a large bush 50 yards from him and along the edge of the woods started to shake. The witness was quite upset and could not see what was making the bush shake. The family hears distant vocalization frequently. He said the house matched those on our site and what he has heard on Finding Bigfoot. The witness walked me to the location where he had seen an animal walking up the ridge as he pulled his vehicle into his lane from the paved highway. He was only able to watch the animal for 15 seconds as it walked through the woods and out of sight over the ridge. In that instance, the reported creature was 7 to 8 feet tall, weighed well over 350 pounds, and was dark brown in coloring. Two teenagers also reported seeing a broad, hairy creature weighing about 250 pounds and walking upright like a man in Alton during the summer of 2004 while building a fort. Courtney said the two young witnesses were very polite and serious. He also spoke with one of the witnesses' parents and walked the area of the sighting for approximately 90 minutes. The two teens were building a blind for squirrel hunting and tried to no avail to push a dead tree to the ground. Later, the tree cracked and fell to the ground, possibly pushed by a large creature, 7 to 8 feet tall. The teen said the creature also howled and threw rocks, typical Bigfoot behavior, witnesses say. Outside Madison County, residents of Otterville have also reported startling accounts of a bipedal non-human hominid. On May 23, 2008, a driver said he or she almost hit such a creature on Otterville Blacktop, north of Shiloh Hill Road. The witness recounted the following chilling tale. It was right around the time of my birthday. I was on vacation visiting with my cousins at his girlfriend's house. We had ran into Jerseyville for cigarettes and were on our way back to her house off of Otterville Blacktop. I was driving about 55 miles per hour around the curves just before Shiloh Hollow Road when I caught something running across the field heading for the road in the headlights. At first, I thought it was a man in a trench coat. It ran up the embankment and onto the road in front of the car. I barely missed it. It just made it in front of the car as I passed and half turned towards me in the center line of the road, within 4 feet from the side of my car. I realized that it wasn't a man in a trench coat. He was covered in hair and his face looked flattened with a wide nose and large nostrils with huge eyes. I continued to watch this thing run up a 20-foot embankment on the other side of the road without ever losing its pace, in shock. I turned to look at my cousin. His eyes were as big as mine, and we found ourselves asking, what the heck was that? He agreed it was not human. The witness also reported a friend spotted something similar running directly in front of his four-wheeler approximately 10 miles from that location near a bridge. The friend also almost hit the creature, saying it was not a man, but was running on 2 legs. Friend described the creature as heavily built and covered in hair. While no definitive evidence such creatures are part of the local fauna, several witnesses have claimed to have seen it. True enthusiasts of this hairy hominid offered several explanations for this, including claims the creatures are migratory in nature. They bury their dead, and some more out there claims believe they could be extra-dimensional or part of the extraterrestrial visitation phenomena to which many paranormal researchers also describe. Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm going to back out of that. I've probably sprained everybody's ears. I apologize if I have. Oh, Brother Pappy and Avy. Oh, praise the Lord. We have got the family here. What an awesome gathering. Thank you all for showing up. Absolutely, thank you. I don't know if any of y'all, were y'all hearing the mumbling? It's coming from my right, which is, I don't know why it's pointing. On screen, I'm pointing to the south, but I'm pointing to the north. I can still hear the mumbling, but it don't sound as close as what it was. It was pretty close. It's right by the sinkhole. Brother Jeff knows exactly where that sinkhole is. Oh, thank you, Michael. He says he loves the bedtime stories. Yeah, hallelujah. Oh, Jesse Parker. I saw a Sasquatch when I was 17 and seldom mentioned it. Now I'm 73 and no longer care who might not believe it. Jesse, if you'd like to come on sometime and share what you've seen with us, we would absolutely love to have you. That is entirely up to you. If any of you have had a sighting or an encounter, thank you, Ruth. Yeah, I'm still hearing it too. But if y'all had any type of encounter, and don't let the encounter you had discourage you from sharing it with us or with any other platform. Uh, Steve Isdall, the How to Hunt channel, a wonderful place to share your encounters as well. But if you guys have something that, if you've seen a creature, any type of creature, and it scarred your memory, it's there, and you can't shake that memory, that's not a sighting, that's an encounter. Anything that affects you spiritually, mentally, physically, it's an encounter. You've seen it a mile away and you can't get it off your mind, and you think about it daily, and just every time you turn around and you're thinking about what you've seen, that's an encounter. Um, it doesn't have to be right up on you, but if you have witnessed anything that you would like to share with us, if you'd like to come on a live show like this and tell your story, we got brother Paul. We tried to get his up several months back, and we couldn't get him on the line. He was having connection problems. Um, I'm going to be getting him on sometime soon to where he can tell his story firsthand. He encountered one of my bow hunting, and I don't know how he's still able to hunt. My encounter messed me up for a long time, and he still goes out in the woods by himself with a bow. Also, he's a heck of a man, but he's also a wonderful part of our family here. He's a brother, and we absolutely love him. I just thought I seen Regina and wrote something. There it is. There are 2 packs of dog man in my area. The ones here are family pack, and Sasquatch are a family group. We just respect each other, and it's fun. But there is another group, and they're deadly. Oh, gee whiz. Yeah, Gene, definitely avoid. You got bad ones around there. Oh, Lord, avoid them things. Certainly not worth taking a chance with them. I've never encountered a bad dog man. I only seen that one up close, and then me and Kim's youngest boy seen a little small one. I'm still not so sure what it was. I'm pretty positive it was a maybe a baby dog man, a pup, I guess you call it. But I'm not positive on that. And it wasn't scary at all. It was just a really goofy looking thing. Oh, absolutely. Blue-eyed northern. Absolutely. It was so I've been wanting to share them for a while. I can't find the one that I was really wanting to share, but I will find it. I thought I had it saved. I switched from Android to iPhone back, I think it was April, and you save pages differently on an iPhone. And I thought I had it saved right. I didn't. Um, I was able to find a few of them that I found before my phone died. I got one of them herpes bumps that come up in your mouth. People say it's a cold sore. It's herpes. That's all it is. There's no sugarcoating it. But I got a bump coming up right there, and I think that's what it is. But I ain't kissed nobody that had the cooties, so hopefully I didn't get it that way. Yes, uh, Gene, I believe Jeff and I did see a young one. He wasn't very big, probably 5, 6 foot tall if he would have stood up all the way. But he wasn't. He just didn't project any ill. There was nothing negative coming off of him. He looked terrified, and I think he was because brother Jeff. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Jeff Townsend in the chat right now. Jeff was with me, and Jeff was armed quite heavily. And when we spotted it and started easing up on it, Jeff already had his rifle up, and he had it on this thing, and he knew that he was in Jeff's sights. And I don't know if that's why he didn't. He wasn't trying to do anything crazy, but I don't know. There was no ill will feelings coming off of him. but it was really a crazy, crazy thing to see. Um, it's hard to believe that we have creatures like that. What are you doing? Let me see. Hang on just a second. Come here, baby. Come here. What are you doing? Why are you laying down? This is Cupcake. She's laying on my feet. I'm sorry, that was that noise you hear. That's her feet. I'm standing on a feed box. What you doing, girl? You hungry? She already had her bottle, but she wants one every time she sees us. You want another bottle? Nope, I got medicine on my mouth. You don't eat that. You see yourself on the screen there? Yeah, this is Cupcake. This is the baby. Let me see. Gene, is that I just seen on there where you put Dogman Encounters episode 224. Is that your encounter? Ed and Tori's Michigan Dogman Encounter. I love listening to that Dogman radio with Vic Cundiff. He is just I love hearing him. If you guys don't know who he is, you got to check him out. He's just got a wonderful spirit to him, and just he is so nice to everybody that he brings on. What are you chewing? You chewing your cud? I got to put her down. She's chewing bubble gum. Are you comfortable, gal? Hmm. You gotta go find you somewhere to lay down. You want to get down? Here, let me put her down. Here, go back. Come right there. Goats are running up here from that fence, that north fence. But I don't see nothing. All right, let me see. Where are we at? Um, uh, let's see. I just seen Paul put on there this the encounter that I had a lot of encounters shared with me, Paul. I haven't had any in quite a while. I got one right now that a young boy sent me, but I don't have all of it. I don't know if it didn't go through in the email. When he sent it, he's halfway through the story and it just stopped, and that's all he sent. But from what he says in the email, his mom does not want him uh, coming on YouTube. And I emailed him back to try to get the rest of the story and try to get some more details. I think he was, I don't remember, 10 years old or 12 years old, a young man. And I'm not going to put his story up here if his mother is against it, because he is a minor and she could have very good reason for not wanting him to put anything on YouTube. But I haven't heard back from him. I've been sitting on it for probably a month now, and I've emailed him back 2 or 3 times, and I haven't got a reply yet from him. But if he'll ever send me the rest, and if I can talk to his mother or his father and get permission to share his encounter, I'll put it up. It's pretty fascinating what he went through. But a lot of them that were sent in to us, a lot of them are just bizarre. The one story the guy had sent in, him and his wife were metal detecting on a piece of property, and there was a creek down there, and she was that they only had a short distance between them. I don't remember, 30 or 40 feet between each other, and they're both metal detected. And he caught something with his metal detector, and he bent over and he dug it up, and it was, I think he said it was a bullet or a bullet case. And he looked at his wife; she's ahead of him, and he's cleaning at his fingers. And he stood up and looked back, and his wife's gone. And it ended up, um, he thought this was only a few minutes that all this happened, and he was missing for quite a while. And his wife then got the authorities up there looking for him. It's a fascinating story, but I done his encounter. I don't remember the name of it, but that one is just it's bizarre. He's got missing time, and then he got one of them ran out and grabbed him, threw him down, or he got attacked by one of the Sasquatch. And it's just so odd to hear encounters like that. Yep, absolutely, Paul. Especially when it comes to the miners sending in stories. And we had one, the lady, I actually met her, and her son had an encounter on property in Westville. And I got to go out and look at the property, but it rained on us, and it was a muddy mess back there. But I was supposed to get back up with her and go back over there when the weather's nice and walk the property out. They were going to take me around on their golf cart, show me the trails and where they had their encounter. But they're having stuff happening all the time. It's almost weekly for them. And it's not a place I want to live. I don't like having them around here. I don't like dealing with it. We've never had anything bad happen right here, but it's not a good feeling when you have a creature that you know nothing about that has the power to just pluck one of your walls, off your house. They can enter it at any time. And you don't know, do they think like a human thinks? Do they reason or do they think like an animal? And if they think like an animal and have that much force behind them, that much power, there's nothing you can do to protect yourself from them. If they have the mental ability to actually we can converse with them and work an agreement out where they don't bother you, and everything's good. That's another thing, but we don't know. We don't know. We assume that they're super intelligent because they're so elusive. Um, but the woods is their home. You it's impossible to catch a squirrel, and unless you shoot him. But these things, they're like a 1,000-pound squirrel. And I don't believe the standard gun, unless it's a well-placed shot, I don't think it's going to do you a lot of good on one. I think it'll set you up for a really bad time. You end up hurting him. And the senior, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna Jane, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna put your comment up right there because that was something I meant to talk about several months back. What Gene's talking about here are people who they look for these shows where people are sharing their encounters, or the narrator is reading someone's encounter out, and where she says they're looking for to get info. They're trying to locate where these people live, and not all of them. I'm not naming any particular group, but there are many of these Bigfoot groups, these investigators. If you have activity at your home, they are so desperate to catch one of these things on camera, they're not going to pay attention to where the sun is in the sky, and they're not going to look at their wristwatch. When they find your address, they could be at your door at 3 o'clock in the morning, knocking on the windows of your house, anything possible to get access to where you had your encounter. So if any of you have an encounter, a story, anything that you're wanting to share, either through emailing it to me for me to read it for you, or for you to come on and share your encounter. Don't give the name of the city where you live. Keep those details out. Um, I tell people that you don't want to lie to someone and tell them your name is Bob when your true name is Jonathan, because you're starting that off as a lie. But the majority of people do not go by their middle name or their initials. So if you do go to share your encounter with anybody, consider using your middle name only, um, or use your initials, to where it's more difficult if these people, these bad groups, if they decide to find where you live, to come and hunt down Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Dogman, whatever's going on at your home. You don't want these people up there 24/7 wreaking havoc on your life. And it's not worth them starting that, and then it gets to the point where the authorities come and they take you away in handcuffs. It's not worth it. So just keep the details, the location. I usually tell people to use the county. If you want to give the area, just tell the county you live. Don't give them no other details. They don't need them. I don't need it. Um, I'm not an investigator. I never will be. I have no desire to hunt these creatures down. As long as they leave me alone, I know that they live in the woods. It's their home. And I'm grateful that they allow me to hunt in it, but I don't want to share the same space with them. I don't want them right there beside me. I prefer not to see them at all. But there's so many in Florida. It's almost impossible to go to the woods 5 or 6 times in a row and not at least hear one beating on a tree or growling or doing the hooting sounds or all these goofy noises they make. Um, they're everywhere. That sounded like a yell. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not. I don't know where it came from. I couldn't. I have no idea. I don't know which side it came from. Yeah, Paul, absolutely, brother. If anybody shows up here, um, and if it gets to the point that I have to protect my home and my family, there's when it comes to my family, if it gets to the point that I have no other option, I will absolutely ride the light. I will happily sit in an electric chair to keep my family safe. Um, I prefer to avoid any confrontation. I just don't want it. I don't need the argument. I don't like dealing with bad people. I don't like dealing with angry people. Our life are is supposed to be dealing with those who are depressed and those that are lost that need our help. That's what we should be focused on, helping them people. But there's so many that are full of anger, and if them people are in a Bigfoot group that just so happens to locate you, they're going to cause you a lot of turmoil, and it's not worth it. It's we don't have any concern with people coming up to our house because we have 6 dogs. Our smallest one, Mini Bit, she's almost 40 pounds. All the others are over 60 pounds, and we have a 3 of them that are very protective of our home. And so I don't have any worries with anybody getting into our house. The dogs start cutting up, and if they do make it into the door, then I'm already up, and we'll make things better real quick. But we have 3 of the dogs sleep with Rosie, and the other 3 sleep with me and Kim. So we have uh, our security system is with us at all times when we're home, and God's been really good to us at keeping our house under His arm, under His hand. We've been very blessed. We've had a lot of weird things happen with tornadoes and all kind of other things, but we have been safe through every one of them, including the animals. We've been very blessed. So hopefully it'll stay that way. I like maybe one of these days we can get our sister Jean to come on and share some of her other experiences with us. If you're ever up to that, Jean. There's a lot of you that are here tonight, right now, that have had a lot of encounters with not only the Bigfoot creatures, but the dog men, the aliens, ghosts, demons. You know, it's probably everybody here tonight has had a crazy experience. Oh, Mike V, how you doing, buddy? I guess you just got here. I didn't see you earlier. Yep, I got you, Gene. Absolutely, anytime. It's never a rush. We're never in a hurry for that. That's something you got to wait until you'll know if you're supposed to share it. It's not something you'd even have to think about. It'll come to you. But we ain't going nowhere. We got one another, and life's good. Got a few stepping stones to get over, but it's all good outside of that. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, and I keep getting raindrops hitting me. I thought um, a mouse or a rat had pooped on me earlier. Unless he's hanging out, relieving himself constantly. I keep getting hit. Yeah, if y'all have had anything you'd like to share, any odd stuff, it doesn't have to be a cryptid. If you've had an encounter with a ghost, even a UFO, a fairy, I mean anything. If there's anything odd outside of the norm that you'd like to share with us, you are very welcome to come on and tell your story yourself, or if you want to email it to me and I'll share it on your behalf. It's completely up to you. If you do decide to email something to me, please let me know if you want to be anonymous. Uh, I recommend, personally, I recommend either being anonymous or use your initials or your middle name, something people can't pinpoint who you are, just to protect your privacy, and you don't want to know that getting out. But if you have anything at all you'd like to share, I don't care what it is, just uh, make sure there's no foul language. I know I don't have to worry about that with you all that are here now, but if you have friends that are wanting to share something here, just ask that they not put any foul language, anything of that sort, or anything that would insult another person. Even if it's, we hear a lot, and you guys have seen it all over the place. I've seen it a lot on Bigfoot Odyssey in the chat room, where people um, they don't like what the BFRO is doing, and you hear a lot of bad stuff people say about them, and it's just not fair. There may be some bad ones in that group, but it's not all of them. There's some wonderful people that are in that group. There are some truly God-fearing people in there, and when you knock down that group as a whole, you're knocking those folks down too. So if you have any dislike for another group, please don't share that with us. I'm not going to put it up. It's not something that I wish to do on anybody. Who is that? Yep, absolutely, Paul. I like the way you worded that. Paul's speaking in regards to some of these organizations, these groups showing up at your house and getting violent or aggressive, late at night. And it's happened. I've spoke to many people that have dealt with that, and where we're talking about doing whatever's necessary to protect your family. And what Brother Paul says, don't push meeting our maker before you're called upon. I sleep easy knowing I did what I had to for the safety of my loved ones, first and foremost. And that's it. I mean, that right there should be law for all of us, to keep our family safe at all costs. Let's see. I'm gonna throw this up. Coin Digger says, "What year do you think all the Bigfoot and rest of the sightings amped up to what it is today?" Um, Me personally, I haven't been following it long. My first encounter that was close up, the one that ruined me, was in 2011. It was April of 2011, and I started researching to figure out what I seen. In my mind, it was a caveman, and to this day, that's still a part of my way of thinking. It's some type of caveman, not Neanderthal, but a caveman. And it was a year or year and a half later, between the end of 2012, the early part of 2013, I finally found out that it was this thing called a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch. And so I started digging into that to learn more about what it was, and that is absolutely, without a doubt, what I encountered that night. There's nothing else it could be. Looking into it every year since then, since 2012, for me personally, what I've seen and following it, and I followed Wes with Sasquatch Chronicles and Lynn from Bigfoot Case Files. Those two were the two folks that stepped in. They helped me so much. They stepped in and helped me tear that wall down and get my life back. They were the two that did that, and I'm so grateful for them too. And right around 2016 to 2017 is when I started seeing the reports, the encounters start ramping up. For me, that's when I noticed it. It's only been a few years, and now it's nonstop. Um, if you ever watch Steve Isdall on his channel, he gets a little rough at the mouth sometimes, but what he's doing is a fantastic thing. He's giving people a platform to share their encounters, to get that off of them that so many people have dismissed and ridiculed them for. And he allows them a place to share that. And he is getting so many. He shares 3 or 4 a day, and I think it's every day. I haven't watched him in I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. But up until the point that Kim's father passed, I was watching him, and it was almost every day he had new encounters that people were sending him. And some of them are extreme. Oh, thank you, Brother Paul. Good night to you, buddy. You have a wonderful evening and a very peaceful one at that. We will absolutely see you soon. Let me see. Where are we at? Well, I'm sorry, Jane. I'm trying to scroll the screen and I'm hitting everything else. It's drizzling. I'm getting a raindrop every now and then, and my finger's wet. So when I touch the screen, it pulls everything. Yeah, Pappy, were you hearing the voices also? I just see you say you think the big guys are talking back to me. It's quieted down. I don't hear them at all right now. Whatever it was that talking, it sounded like a male voice and a feminine voice carrying on a conversation, but it lasted for 20 minutes or more. And it was right there. There's the only thing over there where the voices were coming from is a sinkhole. There's nowhere for anything sit down and get comfortable. Everything's wet and it's so thick and overgrown right there. Right now, you'd probably get snake bit if you walked over there. But somebody's over there or something. There's definitely people talking. Let me see. Do you guys have anything you'd like to share? Would you like me to put up? Oh, there's Denise. Hope I didn't miss you earlier. I just seen your name up there. Trying to go through and make sure I haven't missed anyone. If you guys had a question or something and I did not answer it or recognize what you had mentioned, please put it back up. If you'll put it in caps, I don't want to overlook anybody. You know, you guys mean the world to me, and if you have something to say, then it's important enough for us to put it on here for everyone to hear visually here. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Jean says she was really thinking that the voices we were hearing were talking about the stories I was reading, because he would read and get so far, and then they would talk. I was hearing them, and every now and then they'd get loud, and that's when I'd stop and I'd look over there. I didn't see anything at all. I didn't see no eye shine or anything. It's very strange, but it's not the first time. That's happens quite often. I think Jeff had. I think Jeff had heard it when he was here before. I don't remember. But Jeff's still here. Jeff, did you ever hear the voices coming from the sinkhole when you were up here last? I don't remember if we talked about it. Oh, I'm gonna put Mike has put something up, and it's very interesting. He says, "Do you think the Florida algae water is probably causing the different behavior in the big guys here in Florida?" Mike, I've never considered that. I know there is an algae that we have in our waterways up here, and Brother Connor, Bigfoot Anon, he could probably tell you the name of it. He is very knowledgeable on a lot of things outdoors. But there's a certain type of algae that creates a bacteria in the water. And if you drink the water and get that in you, it would make you deathly sick. It won't kill you, but you will certainly wish you were dead. And it will cause you to dehydrate due to losing so much water through diarrhea and throwing up. It'll jack your body temperature up. It does really bad things to you, and that's very possible. I never considered it, but you may be onto something right there. Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, Flat Rock had sent in some photos. It's been a while back, and I posted them on the under the community tab. And he had a bunch of them. A lot of them I couldn't open. This new phone, I haven't quite figured it out. Let me see. Let me throw this up with Jeff saying. All right, what Jeff's responding to here, he says, yes, that's when I came back to your house. When Jeff spent, he spent a week. When he comes down, he'll stay for about a week at a time. And I was asking him just a few minutes ago if he had heard the voices, the mumbling coming from that sinkhole. And I could, it happens all the time, but I don't remember if he had heard it or not when he was here. And that's what he's responding to. Yes, that's when I came back to your house. Um, Jeff, if you go to bed at midnight and wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, Jeff's already up. Uh, that man goes for days without sleep. And no, he does not do drugs. He does not drink. Jeff is a true God-fearing man, and he is just an incredibly important figure of our family. And I stand behind him 100% in everything he does or says. But Jeff would go outside. He'd get up while we were asleep, and he'd go outside. And some of the times the dogs would go out with him, and he'd just hang outside. And late at night, it's very quiet here. Every now and then, a vehicle will pass on the highway, but normally it's really quiet because we're surrounded by woods. And I wasn't sure if he had heard them voices. So, yep, he definitely heard them. Let me see. I think I just passed. Thought I seen Sharon that says something. Oh, yep. Sister Sharon, she says, Donnie, are you still having problems with them throwing rocks at you? It does still happen. It hadn't happened in a week or two, but it does happen. It's kind of a regular thing. It's not all the time, but it's every month. There's just certain days throughout the month that I'll be out here and you'll hear the rocks hitting the ground. They don't throw them at me. I don't think. Surely they can't be that poor of a aim. As many rocks that have landed around me, if they were throwing them at me, then they need to get into a different field because they're never going to succeed in that one because they haven't hit me. I've been hit with little ones, and they're not thrown super hard. It doesn't hurt. I got hit on top of the shoulder, and it hit me right on that shoulder bone, and that one stung like a hornet. And if I wouldn't have seen it, I would have swore down a hornet got me. But when it hit me, it cracked. It sounded like like breaking a pencil. It was a crack, like snapping a pencil in two. And I seen the rock when it hit the ground, and it just bounced like he lobbed it, and it bounced off my shoulder. But that was, I think that was last year. But normally they just land around me. They're all over the roof of the house. I still haven't got a ladder big enough to get on the roof. I got to get one because I got to clean all the leaves off the valley up there, and I got to get all them rocks off. There's probably 50 of them on the back. I don't know how many is on the front. I've never even checked. Let's see where we're at. Oh my Lord. I did not know that, Denise. I'm going to throw this up. You guys add her to your prayers, please. Our sister Denise says she's still trying to heal. She had a seizure and broke her wrist. Let's get some prayers out, Sister Denise. That seizures are not fun. I'm not epileptic, but I did have seizures due to a medication I took that I had a reaction to it, and they're scary. Your body starts doing stuff, and you know what's going on, but it's like somebody else is in control. It's very frightening. And a broken wrist, I've had many of them, and they are not fun. I'd rather have a broken nose or broken wrist. You don't realize how important your wrist is until you mess it up. Brushing your teeth, even picking your nose gets affected. I'm not trying to be gross. I'm just making a joke. Let's see. Oh, there's Toby. I'm glad you made it. Always good to see Toby. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, I just seen Toby. Denise said she had surgery. Oh, wow. Yeah, Denise said she was seizure free for 2 years, but the heat wave, she had a seizure. I'm so sorry to hear that, Denise. We will absolutely be praying for you. And those of you out there that are not common Christian, where you do healing, you deal with energies instead of prayers. Please focus some healing energies to our sister Denise for her seizures and her broken wrist. Yeah, Pappy says tell him to throw gold nuggets instead of stones. Amen. That would be a blessing. Where are we at? Making sure I'm not forgetting anyone. Yeah, Jeff, I just seen it. Where there's Kim. Right. Yeah, come over here. I can't hear you over there.
I got some news on Pat.
Kim's got an update on her brother, Pat.
You read?
Okay. Can I show this to him?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to show you guys the message Kim just got on her brother, Pat. You guys can see that. Pat is COVID terminal. They're trying to get Sherry, that's
Cherie.
Cherie, that's his wife, to make Pat a do not resuscitate or comfort care. He is on dialysis 24/7 and still ventilated, full of oxygen, and he has lost a lot of blood. That is Kim's brother, her oldest brother, Pat. So please keep the prayers out for Pat. And if you weren't here earlier when I mentioned it, we are more concerned with getting Pat saved.
Yes.
Him passing, we've all got to go sometime. We don't want him to go, but that's not our decision. But please send prayers out that the Almighty God, our Lord Christ Jesus, Yeshua, will deliver Pat of his sin, of all his iniquity, and save him. He needs to be saved. He's not in a good place spiritually, and it's very important that we get him saved. So please send prayers out to Pat Bailey. Maybe we can get him cleansed and he can go home and be in the right house. Yep, and a peaceful passing. He doesn't have much of a chance at survival, according to the medical team working on him. And for him to pass, it's going to happen. So please, while you're sending prayers out for our sister Denise and the rest of us that need them, please send prayers that Pat Bailey will have a peaceful transition from this life to the next one. But please pray that we get him saved. That is, that's the most important thing that we can ask for right now. There's nothing. It's priority. It's the only way to word it. Pappy says, "Hiya, Kimmy. Hiya, Kimmy, sweetie.
Hiya, Pappy.
Brother Pappy."
Hiya, Pappy, Pappy.
She says, "Hello, Pappy, Pappy." Let's see, where are we at? Yep. And Sharon says hello and she loves you.
I love her too.
Kim says she loves you too, there, Sister Sharon. And I'm going to throw this up, Toby. I hope you don't mind. Prayer requests for you guys and gals. Hey, everybody, I have a prayer suggestion for my beautiful wife. We go Tuesday for her blood work to get done because she has to have 3 discs replaced with cadaver bone and hardware. That is a very rough surgery. Kim and I both have been through it. It is no fun. So you guys, please pray for Toby's wife. Pray that she goes into that hospital safe and protected from the cootie bug, and she comes home safe and protected from that cootie bug. Let's pray that the doctor's hands are steady and they are absolute perfectionists while they are working on her. We need to get her back home and back healed. Being a wife is the most important position on earth, is a mother and a wife. And either one of them goes down and it is bad. Guys are dime a dozen. We beat ourselves up and do what we're called to do, and sometimes we don't, but we naturally destroy ourselves. It's what we were built to do, to provide for our family. Mothers and wives hold a very high position in society and in the home, in the family. Please keep prayers out for Toby's wife. Keep prayers out for Denise. You know, these are our family. Yes, amen, Brother Jeff. Absolutely. Thank you, Francesca. Thank you for the powerful group of people we have here. Yep, absolutely, Toby. Anytime, brother. You know, keep us posted on how your wife is doing. If there's anything that you need from me that I can provide, or if you have a word you need to get out and you want me to put it out here, just give me a shout. I've got my email at the bottom of the screen. My glasses are blurry. I can't read it right now, but it should say standinggoatsrescue@yahoo.com. So if there's anything I can do for you, or if you need any help at all that I could possibly uh, come through for you, reach out to me, please. I'll do everything I can to help. Let's see, where are we at? Let's make sure I haven't missed anyone. Oh, my nose. Gee whiz. And thank you all. What an amazing family we have here. You know, if you guys, when you're in another, if you're on another channel and you're in the chat, if you're just watching or listening to their show, pay attention to what people write in the chat. And for me, so far, I have never found another channel on YouTube that has as many glorified people as we have here. I mean, look at the love that's just flowing out of everyone right here. You know, it's a blessing. You know, and I've never seen that on any other channel. There's some great channels out there, but you don't see them that much true love coming from people, and it's amazing. Thank you all so very much. You know, it's such a blessing to know, to find out how much support you truly have. You know, we've had a rough couple of weeks, and it's not over yet, and it's hard. I'm not going to lie to you, it's really hard. But when I posted the video to let you guys know the reason I haven't been on YouTube, I haven't done any videos. Um, we lost Kim's father in the train wreck with trying to get her down there and all of that stuff, and then I lost my beloved Piglet, and it's been one thing after the other. And when I shared it, um, that video I filmed from inside the shooting house, I was heartbroken. I was absolutely broken. And when the comments come in, I don't read all the comments. It's not possible for me to keep up with them. But if I'm on my phone, they'll just pop up, and I'll get just a brief. I won't get the whole comment, but I'll be able to read, 10 or 12 words of the comment. And the comments that were coming in, they touched me so powerfully. And I knew I had a wonderful family here, but I didn't realize just how much you guys truly cared for me and my family. And it was so touching. And I thank you. I can't thank you enough. It's it's beyond a blessing. And groups like what we have here, you guys, that does not happen naturally. God has to have his hands involved with something. Our creator's got to be there to have this many loving, comforting people in one group. God's got to be there. It's just not possible. Human nature doesn't allow that. I think I just seen um, I think Toby is Lindsay. Is that your wife? I just see where you wrote Lindsay on there. You know, it's Francesca. Hope you don't mind. I'm gonna put this up. This is a just a it's a prime example of the proof being in the pudding. I mean, look at this is the most powerful thing that anyone can have is the love that we have for one another here. And what Francesca says, it all it all hits at once. And so it did, Donnie, and the hits are still coming. Yes, they are. We are here, we are patient, and we are here for you and your family and extended family, like everyone else on here. Y'all are such a blessing, every one of you guys, and I can't say it enough. You all mean the absolute world to me and my family, and we love you so deeply. I would hug everybody in Standing Goats Rescue, every person that's part of this. I would love to be in front of you and to give you a hug, and I absolutely would. I'm not a manly man unless somebody comes against my family or our animals. Then I can get kind of silly, but I do what's necessary to protect my loved ones. But I express my love openly to everyone, and Brother Jeff can certainly attest to that. And the majority of you all are the same. Y'all are, and maybe it rubbed off. You guys, compassion and love has rubbed off on me. What a blessing. Thank you, Toby. So that's Toby and Lindsay. Lindsay is his wife. So please, guys, remember to send prayers out. Denise, send prayers out for Toby's wife, Lindsay. The surgery she's about to go through it is a very serious surgery. The success rate of those surgeries is very high, but the seriousness of it, one slip is more than just a scar. But the surgeons that do these type of surgeries are incredible. Them men and women could take a razor and split a hair without holding it. I mean, they are so steady, so good at what they do. We just pray that the surgeon has the power of the Comforter, the Holy Spirit, in his hands as he's working on Lindsay. We want to get her home safely. Yeah, absolutely. Bama Bigfoot said it on the money. I love everyone, and we absolutely love you. We have a phenomenal, phenomenal group here. Francesca said it all. Group hug. Yes, indeed. Hallelujah. Uh, thank you, Gene. I'm going to throw that up there. This is coming from a woman, so I can't be beat down. She said, "There's nothing more manly than a man who shows feeling," and that is my opinion anyway. That's why I was always the outcast with all of my friends. I was the only person I know, the only male that I know my two favorite colors are pink and purple. I love pink. I love purple. I have shirts that are pink. I used to have purple shirts, but they kind of got uh, under some falling bleach. Kim accidentally spilled some bleach on them, but it's all right. I get some more. Let's see. I don't think I've missed anybody. I hope I haven't. If I have missed anyone, if you've got anybody has mentioned um, the need for prayers or for a prayer or anything else, if I have missed you, please somebody throw it up in caps right quick so we can get it out. We're going to be closing this down in a minute, and I want to make sure everybody is covered. Oh, Badger State. I didn't know you were even here. God bless you. So good. So good to see. I love seeing that name. You could pick that name out of a crowd of 1 million people. It just stands out. I love it. Um, have I missed anyone? I don't. I hope not. Sure hope I haven't. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. If anybody has asked for help or for prayers and I overlooked it, I'm just waiting to make sure that we don't put nobody out. Brother Jeff says you have to be a real man to wear pink, and I'm not quite there yet, but I'm trying. Oh, hallelujah. I love Brother Jeff. Uh, let me see where we got. Making sure I have not missed anybody. I see Mike thinks that the big guys are being poisoned, if I understood that correctly. Stacy Jabber. Oh, so good to see you. Oh, thank you so much, Stacy. Thank you so much. She's going to send a prayer for your family. So sorry for Piglet. God bless you. God bless you as well. Thank you tremendously. That absolutely means the world to me. We have an amazing thing here, and it's you all. You all are such a blessing to me and my family. And if you ever need verification that I mean that, you can ask Brother Jeff Townsend. He spent a lot of time with us, and I talk about you guys, our extended family, a lot. Even when I talk to strangers, I bring it up because it's such a, you don't find people like we have here. It's not normal to find that many just true people, true loving friends, people that you're bound to by Holy Spirit. Is to find two or three is a blessing, but to find an entire, we almost have a civilization. We've got such an amazing thing here. And the Bible says where two or more come together and praying in Yeshua in Jesus' name, He's there. And imagine what happens when we all come together and pray for people. Things do happen. If God has a plan for an individual and it's not to survive, or if it's against what we're praying for, we're not going to cause him to change his mind. He's going to do what he had planned all along. He's going to do it his way. We just have to be accepting in that. As young children, our mother and father would punish us when we did wrong. They would take things away from us as punishment. We would get paddled or spanked, but it wasn't done out of hatred. They knew what was best for us, even though we thought we knew. Once we got older, we realized they were right all along. And that's where our Creator, Yahweh, Most High God, that's where He's at. We may believe it to be right to pray to save someone's life who is at death's door, but He may know for fact, that is absolutely the wrong thing for this man, and to do what's best for him, got to take him, whether we want him to or not. And like Brother Mike, earlier, I think it was yesterday, he said, when it comes to God's will, let His will be done, regardless of what it is. We pray that God's will be done, and that'll get us through everything. Always. We may take some heartache, but He's there for us to lean on and to cry out. Gene said a good start. Pink camo. We have to give Brother Jeff in pink camo. Just wanted to share it with you guys right quick. Jeff is Rosie's, that's her grandpa Jeff. Well, Grandpa Jeff bought Rosie a beautiful dress. I mean, a beautiful dress, not a nightgown, but a full-blown little girl's dress, and it was pink camouflage. And Rosie absolutely adored that dress. She wore it out, and we still got it, but she wore that thing slap out, the little fancy thing around the bottom of the dress. I forget what it's called. It's dangling off in several parts where she's wore the threads on it, but she loved that dress. She loves pink. She loves camo, but she absolutely loves and adores Grandpa Jeff. Grandpa Jeff can't do no wrong. There's Rita. Good morning. Our sister Rita from England. Good morning. So good to see you. It's almost bedtime for us over here. It's way past my bedtime. I just want to make sure we got if anybody has a prayer request or anything you want to get up right quick, please throw it up in the chat in caps, and I will absolutely put it up. Oh, I just seen Sharon say, Sister Sharon says, when is Rosie's birthday? February 15th is Rosie's birthday. She will be 10 years old on February 15th. See now says, good night, everyone. Good night. I'm glad you got to hang out with us. If you haven't already left, good night. We love you, and we will absolutely see you soon. Most definitely. Let's see. Am I missing anybody? Oh, wow. Rita says it's 4:45 a.m. over there. Wow. She lives in the future. It's still Sunday here, I think. Yeah, it's still Sunday. Yeah, Brother Jeff says not loving her would be hard. When Jeff, when he came down, we went for a walk out in one of the areas that I do a lot of hiking, and it was me and Kim. I was up front, Kim was behind me, and then Rosie, and then Jeff. Well, everybody's facing forward except for Rosie. Rosie is turned backwards the whole 2 miles, I guess we walked, and Rosie is backwards, facing Jeff the entire time. And she talked from the time we left the house to the time we got back. Her mouth was going 100 miles a minute. She could not say enough to Grandpa Jeff in one breath. It was so funny, but she loves him. Bruce Beaver. Oh, Bruce is in Nevada. Wow. Yeah, I think it's a little warm over there for you, ain't it, Brother Bruce? I've never been to Nevada yet, but one day. We got to, just to kind of throw it up in the wind for you guys that are left. I know a lot of people had to go to bed for jobs tomorrow. We're going to be making some changes sometime in the near future. And I'll go into more detail on that a little later. But we're going to be building or creating a second channel on YouTube here. And I'm not sure what we're doing it. It'll be Kim's channel, but I'll be doing the video posts, and I'll be doing probably doing everything on it, but that's fine. It'll either be Standing Goats Rescue 2 or it'll be SGR. It'll be something similar. But as soon as we get to the point we get that done, I'll probably do a couple of videos and we'll do a show just to keep reminding those that aren't with us now and those that may miss the videos or the shows where we announce it, to let everyone know. And we're going to concentrate on building that one up, and I'll explain all the details to that about that to you a little later. but that is coming. That is definitely coming. And we're making some changes. We finally figured how we can do what we need to do and be 100% legal, and uh, we'll be able to. The other channel, we are going to monetize it. Just to let you know, it's not going to be a membership thing where you have to pay to watch a video. It ain't going to be that. But we are going to monetize it, and we're trying something different. We're going to see how it works out. This channel will always be here, and so it'll be both channels will be running. And if we're going to post something really important that I want everyone to see on the other channel, I will post a heads up here so you guys will know. That way nobody will miss it. But I'll be able to give you a more descriptive list of what all we're doing a little later. We're not quite there yet. We're going through the process, the changes where we can do that and be legal. Because the only reason I haven't done it is because it wouldn't be legal for me because of the way that they got me listed, and it goes down to workers' comp, blacklisted me, so I'm not allowed to have a job legally. But we found a way to do it legally, and we won't be breaking any laws, and it'll work out fantastic. So that's what we're going to do. All right, I'm making sure I haven't missed anybody. I hope not. Good night, Toby. Good night to your brother. Tell Lindsay good night, and God's got her back. We're going to send messages to him to make sure we remind him. Good night, Francesca. Good deal. Yeah, Babby says, hoo-hoo, the Kim and Rosie Homesteaders channel. Very close. Very, very close, Babby. It's so close. It's kind of scary because we haven't told anybody yet. But if anybody was to figure it out, I know Pappy would. All right, guys. I don't see any other. Oh, I'm sorry, Rita. I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to scroll up. My finger's wet. There's a couple of water drops on the screen, and it's sticking to me. I think we got everyone out. I don't think we missed any prayer requests or any needs or wants of anybody. If anything comes up that you guys need something before our next show, email me. Please email me at standinggoatsrescue@yahoo.com. And if you're new to our family here, if something happens that you need help, whether it be spiritual help or whatever, reach out to everybody you see in the chat is part of our family here. We are one unit. It's not me and subscribers. We are one unit, one family. We are all equal here. Nobody is above the other. And whatever help that you need, if it's prayer support, whatever it may need, don't hesitate. Reach out. Anybody in the chat, say hello to them. Hey, I need prayers. I'm in a bind. And put it out there. And everybody you see in the chat right now will lay everything down immediately to pray for you and to help get you to where you need to be. But guys, I love each and every one of you. I love you more than you'll ever know. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the prayers, for the support. I mean, you guys, I've never been uplifted so mightily as I have this past week. And I can't thank you enough. I mean, it is just, it's unbelievable. But thank you all. Brother Rick, I didn't see you in chat earlier. I'm sorry. I love Rick. What an amazing man. He's been with us for a long time. And of course, Brother Mike, Sister Francesca. There's so many of you here tonight. We're so blessed to have you. You guys made us what we are. And it's not me and you, it's us. We are definitely a family here. But I love you. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. And until next time, always be safe. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.